let's do a Kruleboyz unit tier list. I'm very, very happy. I'm a happy little green boy. Thanks to all the patrons, Baron of Dice for the channel art. Wow. Okay, so here's how I like to do these tier lists. Here's my ranking. So S is an auto include. It means that you will absolutely see this unit in every single list. If it's not in a list, the list definitely has room for improvement. Again, it's an auto include. A tier is units that you're not surprised to see in lists. They're very, very good. They're not necessarily an auto include, but they are definitely units that you'll see like in practically every list that you see. B tier is situationally good. So these are units that are good in certain metas or good if you're going for certain styles of play. And F is just unplayable. You just won't see them in lists. So let's just do a quick example of each one. So S tier auto include Gutrippas. We're seeing Gutrippas, a reinforced unit of Gutrippas in basically every single list that we see. They right now are the backbone of our army and the number one output of damage that we have. Absolutely fantastic. A tier, Break a Boss. We don't see them in every list. They're not required, but they are very, very strong. And when you see them, you go, oh yeah, of course, a Break a Boss. Absolutely. B tier, situationally good. I don't know if there really is anything. Probably a Merc Knob. I'd say a Merc Knob is situationally good. This is when you want that foot hero just to sit in the tower and you don't have 30 extra points to make it a Swamp Call a Shaman, right? And then F tier is just flat unplayable. So even with Reinforced Gutrippas being our go-to, the kill boss on foot is still absolute trash and we're never going to see him play. Like he's just really bad. His War Scroll is absolutely terrible. Kill boss with Stab Lad. Just to refresh your memory, I mean, obviously his attack profile doesn't matter. He's not fast. He's not super survivable. Whatever, right? He has like a bad ward, right? Add 1 to wound rolls if you use all out attack for Gutrippas or for infantry, but we don't want to use all out attack because we deal mortal wounds. So we just don't care. It's just an absolute garbage of a War Scroll. Absolute trash. Okay, more S tier units. Let's well, actually, you know what? Let's go through all the big monsters. And then we'll go through our cavalry. And then we'll go through like our support units, go through our heroes, our shooting, and then we'll end with the rest of our infantry. Okay, so Kragnos. I'm going to put Kragnos at B tier. And the reason is because I think like Kruleboyz are not really like a Kragnos list. Kragnos is really, really strong. Don't get me wrong. If you're a Kruleboyz player and you want to play Kragnos, I totally get why. I think that he's situationally good in our army if you're planning on running a whole lot of infantry. If that's what you want to do. You're like, I'm not going to go for any shooting. I'm not going to play a Marsh Crawler because it's kind of redundant at that point. But I think he could easily be A tier. But I just personally, I'm not a big fan of him in Kruleboyz. I think he's the worst designed like god in the game because he's way too powerful. Someone told me the other day that his War Scroll should just be Gordrak's War Scroll, like his ability, his 3d6 charge ability, and I tend to agree. I tend to think that that's probably definitely a much better way to do it. Up next is Gobsprak. I'm going to put Gobsprak also at B tier. I don't think that he's F tier. I don't think that he's unplayable, but I do think that Gobsprak is only going to be good if you're like, I just really want to play Gobsprak, right? I just really want to have a whole bunch of casts. The problem with Gobsprak is that you're still going to be taking at least one Swamp Call a Shaman, even if you're taking Gobsprak. The Swamp Call a Shaman for his point is just such a better caster. Like with the Swamp Staff, a Swamp Call a Shaman is 2+1 casts, which is better than Gobsprak. And Gobsprak's War Scroll spell isn't bad. It's not awful. It's not super amazing or anything, right? But this season, like the 3d6 Unbind is only okay. Last season, the 3d6 Unbind was not last season. Last edition, the 3d6 Unbind was absolutely crazy. but inflicting D3 mortal wounds if you successfully unbind. It's like there's a lot of ifs there, right? His crushed to death is fine again, but you don't really want him to be in combat, so it's not like this is going off all the time. And strangle hex, right? It's like 5 mortal wounds to something big, right? To like a monster essentially. If it's not a monster, this doesn't really do all that much. So I don't know. It's not. He's not bad, but he's probably still too expensive. So I think the only people that are really taking Gobspec right now are people who just really like playing Gobspec. The Swamp Call Shamans are so much better, especially with Kruleboyz, or sorry, with Gutrippus being so good. Being able to give them +1 save is fantastic. Up next, we got the Vulture boss, the kill boss on Corpse Rip of Vulture. I'm going to put him at an A tier. He's just really fast. He uses the monstrous traits really well, except for Minen. I don't think that he's the best recipient for Minen. I think the best recipient for Minen is still going to be the Breakaboss, just because the Breakaboss deals like way more damage, right? But if you want to use Slippery Scumbag, if you want to use the Toughen, if you want to use what was the other one? I'll just put this up here. Oops. Get rid of that. Fasten, right? All of those, or Sneakian? Yeah, Sneakian. Fasten's what we got in Iron Jaws. But like they're just all really good on the Vulture boss, right? So he does a very good job making use of all those things. Up next, we got the Snatcher boss. Snatcher boss is just straight F tier. I don't think that anybody is gonna play him. I think that his points need to drop so much before anybody actually considers playing him. His ability just doesn't really do all that much. Like the -1 to wound from Festering Wound, it's just like, yeah, there's just nothing going on here that we really want to do. 220 points is still way too expensive for this. A Breakaboss is just strictly better in almost every single way. The only thing that the Snatcher boss has over Breakaboss is he's obviously more wounds and he's a little bit faster, but like it's just not there. Like never play him. Same thing with the regular Swamp Boss Scumdrek. He just like buffing in the previous season before we got the Soggy Scumdrek, the Snatcher boss was better than Scumdrek. Nobody wanted to play Hobgrots. We still don't. So, yeah. Up next, we have Soggy Scumdrek, the Scourgic Iran Scumdrek. I put Soggy Scumdrek at an A tier. I really go back and forth in my thinking right now about Scumdrek. Like, I think that Scumdrek does edge out a little bit in compared to a Breakaboss. Like somebody was making a comment in my on a video of mine earlier, and they said like I don't really get why everyone's so super excited about Scumdrek, but I think the thing is with him really is like he does really good damage without having to have any support, and he does mortal wounds, so it's better against better save units. But the Breakaboss does deal way more damage than the Soggy Scumdrek with Minen. But and like the Breakaboss has some other advantages too. Like he doesn't rely on mortal wounds. He that's kind of it really. He's like rend, right? So it's a little bit different. But the thing that and he's cheaper, right? He's 50 points cheaper. He's quite a bit cheaper. But the thing that the other Scumdrek gives us is this ability rigged odds with the betting chips. So, I mean, it's still early days in the season, obviously, right? Like, we're not definitively coming out and saying that Scumdrek is better than the Breakaboss, but I think that with being able to, add +1 or +2 or +3 to a dirty trick roll when you really need that strike last, or close to the end of the game when you really need, like, that teleport to help with tactics, I think that he's very, very good. So I'm going to stick him at S tier. I would probably rank them like this. Soggy Scumdrek is better than Breakaboss, and the Vulture boss is also better than the Breakaboss, just because of the rules that they are filling, right? They're filling different rules. So, yeah. Merc Knob, yeah. And not that we're doing that. Gnashtooth is F tier. Yeah, the non-soggy Gnashtooth is F tier. There's nothing really going on here, right? Like, he was F tier last season, and he's going to remain to be F tier this season. Giving 3 to control score is trash. And then here we go again, +1 to hit rolls for Kruleboyz units wholly within 12. Right? It's like nothing is keeping pace with him. It's not like he's got some cavalry that he can run alongside. And +1 to hit in this army just isn't really... It's not really doing much. Like, we're a mortal wound army. So I don't know why they were like, oh, we're going to give crit mortals and no rend, but we're going to give 2 different sources of +1 to hit. If this was +1 rend, I'm listening, but it's not. It's +1 to hit. So while the soggy Gnashtooth, I think, is A tier. I don't think that he's like required in every list, but I think that he's solid. I think that when I see him in a list, I go, okay, yeah. Being able to teleport around the map, and then, like, I don't know, does he get points just because of, for drag him out? Right? Like, does he get points for that? I think so, just because it's awesome. I used it the other day. It was super cool. It's probably not going to come up very often, but when it does, it's really fun. It's really neat. Like, being able to prowl the flanks on one of your turns, and then the next turn move him 10 inches, and then charge in and get into combat with a hero just to drag him out is just really neat. But prowling the flanks, I think, is where he's really going to shine. There's lots of objectives where you're going to be able to just... Sorry, lots of battle plans where you're going to be able just to prowl the flanks and just tag objectives, which is pretty neat. So I like that quite a bit. Swampcalla Shaman is S tier. You're going to include one in every single list. If you don't have one, I don't know what you're doing. You definitely want to include a Swampcalla Shaman in every single list that you play. Being able to stand behind a reinforced unit of Gut Rippers with his the elixir is really, really strong. Our manifestations are really, really strong, so it's not like you can, I guess, but it's not like you really want to be taking a no caster list. Yeah, and just being a 1+1 wizard, like a 1 cast +1 wizard is really good. And then of course with the swamp staff. I think that if you are going to take multiple Swampcalla Shamans, you can not take that artifact of power. I think that if you want to take multiple shamans, you could probably go for Mork's Eye Pebble. 2 casts is pretty good. 3 cast might be pushing it a little bit. I mean, there's lots of spells that we want to cast, though. Right? Like, there's 6 different options that we have to cast. Mork's Cunning is, I think, almost an auto cast every single turn. The Foot of Gork is great to have out. The Gork Rora is definitely worth casting if your opponent is going first. Right? Very, very good. Choking Mist is another very good spell. It's now within 12 instead of wholly within 18. And because your Swampcalla Shaman wants to be marching up the battlefield behind your unit of Gut Rippers to give them, you know, Mork's Cunning and the Elixir, then being able to cast Choking Mist is really good. Like, -1 attacks is really strong. Right? Like, if your opponent is coming at you with a brick of 20 to attack infantry, you're essentially cutting their damage in half, which is a lot. So, I don't know, 2 spells, like... 2 spells is minimum, I think. So it's like, you know, you want to be casting Mork's Cunning, I think, every turn, and then a manifestation. 3 casts might be a little much. If you have the Gork Roar out already, it's like, sure, you can cast the Foot of Gork, but the Black Pit isn't a crazy good spell. But, like, you could probably go with 3. 3 casts is probably fine. 4 casts, I think, is probably too much. But you're definitely going to be including at least 1 Swampcalla Shaman in every single list that you take. Marshcalla Sloggoth, I'm going to stick at A tier. He's just really solid. Again, having, you know, multiple reinforced bricks of Gut Rippers, being able to run 6 inches and then charge is great. Mobility is fantastic in this game. The Slither Boss, I'm not sure if I should stick him in B tier or F tier. The only reason I want to stick him in B tier is because he is 10 points cheaper than a Merc Knob. So if you only have 70 points left in your list, you take him. He sits in the tower. If you have 1 Swampcalla Shaman, and you have 70 points left, he sits in the tower. But he's worse than everybody else. I'd probably stick him in this order. Merc Knobs, I'm taking him before I take Kragnos. Yeah. Killbow, A tier. Very, very strong anti-monster shooting. Monsters don't get any of this obscuring nonsense from this edition. So really, really good. Same thing with Bolt Boys. Shooting is not dead, turns out. And having good 2-rend shooting, especially from a unit that can teleport, They can help take objectives. They're cheap. 90 points. Oh my god, they're so cheap. So cheap. Very, very good. Hobgrots, I'm going to stick at F tier. They're just bad. I wish that they were better. They were low-key the best unit that we had in the previous edition, in 3rd edition, just because they were cheap and they could run and charge. Sorry, they could run and shoot. So their shooting attack was actually pretty good. Their grenades, I think, were 3-3-1-1 in the previous edition, and with a range of 8, I do believe. But they were still like dealing like a few damage, and being able to run and shoot was really annoying, and which also made them very good screens. Like they could just run up and throw their grenades. But I mean, I think that that's maybe one of the reasons that they're not great this season, is because screens aren't great this season. Their points would probably have to come down even more before people really started playing them. Like, I'm not sure what's better, 7 Monster-Killers or 20 Hobgrots. I don't know what's better. If they were 60 points each, people would start to take them. But even at 70 points each, it's like, I'd rather have Monster-Killers than 30 extra points. So, they're just bad coming to the bottom. And last but not least, of course, we have Monster-Killers. I think Monster-Killers are S tier. I think that you must include a unit of Monster-Killers in every list that you write. Probably 2, but if I see 4, I'm not shocked. You can write a list that's got like 5 or 6 units of Monster-Killers and a Kragnos, and you're going to win lots of games. Because they're just so bloody cost efficient that it's hard to say no. It's hard to say no. They're very, very good. So, I don't know, like, if we're looking at this overall, you know, like, there's at least one Scumdrek and one Gnashtooth that we can include in all of our lists. So, the internal balance is really good. Look how many A-tier units we have. Look how many A-tier and S-tier units. There's 10 in A-tier and S-tier, and only 9 in B-tier or below. So, and Kragnos probably doesn't belong there. He probably belongs in A-tier, but I'm going to leave him in B-tier. But the internal balance right now in Kruleboyz is much, much better than it's been. Much, much better than it's been. And I don't know what's going to happen at the end of this season, but I don't want to lose my nice Gnashtooth and my Scumdrek. I don't want them to go away. Because if we take them away, suddenly there's a lot more units that are in... Can I put it back down here? No. Suddenly there's a lot more units that are in F tier, right? Like we lose 2 nice A tier units. So I don't want them to go away. I want them to stay. Same thing with Swamp Horde Bullies, right? But we're going to enjoy them while they last. We're going to enjoy them while we're here. So let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you disagree with, if I missed something. But no matter what you do, like, subscribe, wah.